I'm Michael Fedlin. I've been a lawyer for more than a half a century, 50 years. I've negotiated internationally, worked in countries around the world, run a Texas business. I've analyzed terrorism on television before and after 9/11, and I've even run for Congress myself, both in the D and the R category. I've seen politics from both sides. That is why I am supporting James Talarico for the United States Senate. Why? This isn't about whether there's a D or an R after someone's name. It's about something much more important. Who is better prepared to represent the future of Texas? James Talarico did something before becoming a politician that I think matters. He was a public school teacher. He taught sixth graders in San Antonio, and sixth graders, if you can manage that, I'm sure Senate would be nothing. Think about that. Before asking people for their votes, he stood in a classroom trying to give their kids, your kids, a better future. That means something to me personally. I grew up on a farm in Iowa, and it was education that changed my life. It helped take me away from milking cows to practicing law and eventually negotiating around the world. That kind of led to being the 9/11 terrorism analyst on TV because I could see what was going on in the world from those travels. So when Tellerico talks about education, I understand why it matters. Education isn't just another government expense, it's an investment in our future. We cannot lead the world by being the least educated. All right. Then that future is coming at us incredibly fast. China is competing with us in artificial intelligence, robotics, clean energy, advanced manufacturing, and other technologies that are going to require a highly educated population on our part to stay in the race. The next senator from Texas will vote on decisions that could determine whether America leads the world or follows it. I know Talarico wants us to lead the world. We need leaders who understand education, science, technology, and the importance of preparing our children for that competition. A former teacher understands what's at stake. Now compare that with Ken Paxton. I'm a lawyer, so I'm going to stick to the documented facts, facts, facts. Paxton was indicted on felony securities fraud charges. He's also made millions while in office. Those charges were eventually dropped under an agreement that required community service, legal ethics courses, and restitution. But then something extraordinary happened. He was impeached by his own party, the Republicans in the Texas House. Why? Because he was doing some very abusive power activities. Now, eventually, and those allegations included corruption and abuse of office, right? The Texas Senate later acquitted him. It was kind of a political deal. And then Abbott ran people against the Senate, the House members that voted for impeachment to get them knocked out. What does that say about ethics? So I practiced law for more than half a century, 50 years, as I mentioned. I've learned a few things that your reputation matters. You don't get to do an international deal if they don't trust you. If you don't keep your word, they're not going to do a deal with you. So your judgment matters. Your ethics matter. They matter even more when the people of Texas give you enormous power for good or bad. I don't want this decision to be about Ken Paxton's past, though. I want it to be about our future, Texas' future, America's future. So Texans obviously and rightfully are worried about things that affect their lives. Can they afford their electric bill? Can they even buy the gas for the car at $4? Can my kids get a good education? Can we afford health care? Can we stay out of another forever war that was really unnecessary? Can young families afford a house? Can we secure our border but maintain the legal immigration system that attracts the talented people that America needs? They do the jobs Americans won't do, and they do skilled jobs that Americans don't have skills for yet. So, can America remain the world's technological and economic leader? That's a big question right now because China is starting to take the lead in key technologies because of what is going on in Washington right now. These are the questions our next senator should be working on, not another political decade of political warfare. I'm from an older generation, I admit. I've traveled the world. I've watched America change enormously from during my lifetime when I've witnessed the moon landings, and now people don't even know or think that that was real. That's sad. I've seen what this country can accomplish when we invest in education, the infrastructure, the research, and the people. I've also seen what happens when politics becomes more important than solving problems. James Talarico represents a younger generation that is going to inherit the decisions Washington makes today. Maybe it's time we gave that generation a greater voice. I'm all for it myself. You don't have to agree with James Talarico on every issue. I'm sure there's things I don't agree with. I frankly do people really agree on everything anybody else thinks? Hardly likely, right? I don't expect to agree with any politician pretty much on everything, but after that 50 years of legal and business and negotiating experience, I've learned a thing or two. Character matters, judgment matters, integrity matters. Texas has a choice. Can we send another political warrior hack to Washington, or can we send a teacher and a state representative who believes government should actually help build a better future instead of just lining the pockets of the politicians from big money? I'm supporting James Talarico for United States Senate, not simply because he's a Democrat. No, I believe he's the better person for the job, and that's what matters, not the R or the D. Ponder that. Come November, it's time to take a look and elect someone who will really represent Texas instead of his own political future. Thank you. I welcome your comments, and if you want some future insights on issues that I've got some unique experience in, hit the subscribe button, and I'll try to get to the comments. Busy life here, but I welcome them. Michael Fedlund, until next time.